Hi everyone, thank you for attending this webinar. My name is Aryan Verma. Today I am the host of this webinar. I will tell you a little bit about our company. The name of our company is Meest Canada. We have been operating this company over 35 years ago. And so basically we are a logistic global company. We are sending parcels from Canada to different countries like India, Europe, and Asia. And you can learn more about our company on our website. So our website is Meest Canada. And now I am going to introduce to you our today's host. Our host name is Sukh Brar. He is an immigration consultant and he is the owner of Bright Immigration. So if you want, you can also able to contact and ask them any queries related to the immigration purposes. He is having their own company, Bright Edge Immigrations, and he is also having a certification from the regulated Canadian Immigration Consultant, member of College of Immigrations, member of Canadian Association of Professional Immigration Consultant. Thank you, Subrat, for attending this webinar. And
thank you, Arun, for introducing. Hello, everyone. So my name is Sukh, as Arun introduced. I'm from Bright Edge Immigration. I'm an immigration consultant, regulated, and a member of CICC. So today's our topic is as we know, there are hundreds and thousands of people who are getting their work permits expired this year, especially in 2025, and some of them they got expired in work permits got expired in 2024 as well, because there was no active policy. So we will be more focusing on what are the ways and how we can extend the work permit if you are in this similar situation. So if your work permit is going to expire in 2025 or 2026, and you do not have any PR pathway yet, that means you're not focusing on any targeted draws or any AAP program, RCIP program, anything like that. So, this the webinar today will be a little bit helpful for you guys, so you can have an idea to how to get the work permit extended, or you can stay in Canada legally. So I just want to share the PowerPoint, you guys. Are you able to see PowerPoint?
yeah.
Okay. Okay. So these are the possible ways how you can extend the work permit basically. This is LMA-based work permit, francophone work permit, spousal open permit. If you're getting married over here, or you got married before and now you're applying under C42, C41, bridging open permit, PNP-based work permit basically. So if you got an approval of the PNP. So another way is there's another public policy which is going on right now to extend the work permit if you are eligible PNP candidate. Right now, only 3 PNPs they are supporting, which is Alberta, Manitoba, and Yukon. None of the other provinces they are supporting this policy right now. Could be maybe later on they will be added as well, maybe. But from at this point, the only 3 provinces are there. So let's focus. So I'll just be giving you some introduction about the LMA-based work permit as well. So as everybody know about it, so basically. So LMA-based work permits, so you can ask your employer wherever you are working right now, and ask them if they can support you, or if you are a skilled candidate, or if you have any kind of special experience, you can find different employers as well. So there are different employers who are also looking for employees. You can also so it's not only what I have seen in the people so if you're looking staying in Brampton area. The people are looking for the LMAs in the Brampton area only. Then you will have to be frank, if we are coming on the ground level, it is very hard whenever we are talking about getting LMA, especially in the GTA area because of the high population and stuff, probably just because of the high unemployment rate as well. But if you move outside the GTA, let's say, or you move to any rural communities, there are employers who are willing to support, and they're genuine employers. So you just have to figure it out, okay, so this is the knock you're focusing, for example, you're a carpenter or painter, whatever. and you're moving to one of the rural community, you can just talk to the employers. Okay, so your work permit is expiring, if they can support you. If the employer is not able to find any candidate who is permanent residency and permanent resident or Canadian citizen, they should be able to help you. There are many employers they are willing to support because of their businesses are also getting impacted if they're not able to find the right candidate. Um, the only thing you have to consider about the LMIA is because as of the probably you know about the rules because the government of Canada they changed the rules last year. So not all the employers are eligible for the LMIAs basically. So if you're going for the low wage LMIAs, then you have to take a look at where where your city business is located. If the business is located in an area where the unemployment rate is 6% and more, then they are not going to they cannot submit LMIA based on the low wage LMIA basically. If they're willing to support in the high wage, definitely they can do it. Then second option is Francophone mobility work permit. So this is one of the most popular work permit basically as of today's scenario, because in this is LMIA exempt work permit and you do not need any LMIA for that, and you can just get a job offer. If I'm saying just get a job offer, it's just the job offer you're getting from employer, but you are going to work with only with that specific employer. So for example, like you're one of the employer is going to support that's from a food chain. So that specific employer, but you need like a CLB 5 in listening and speaking in French to be eligible for this. Then after that, you can get the job offer from the employer, and then after that, IRCC approves the application, then your work permit will be closed and you can only work with that employer. And the third option is the spousal work permit basically. So spousal work permit is just kind of a 2-3 work permits basically. One is if your spouse is Canadian or permanent resident, and you're getting married in India, or you're getting married outside somewhere, or you're getting married in Canada. So then after that, you're submitting your sponsorship application, and along with that, you can submit your open permit as well. So that open permit will give you time to stay in Canada and legally work with any employer, basically. So this will give you approximately 2 years of time. So in this one, so it doesn't really matter if you're applying for the outland sponsorship or inland sponsorship. But you can just get the work permit. So you need to wait for the AOR to apply for the work permit. But if there is a scenario, let's say your work permit is expiring within like next 2 weeks, then yes, then you can apply your sponsorship application first. Then right after that, you can apply for your open permit as well. So there is no gap in between technically, so you can keep working until your work permit gets approved. So another option is, so if your spouse is international student in an eligible program, and so before that, so there was no such requirement from the IRCC. So your spouse, if they're international student and studying at eligible DLIs, so you can submit the spousal open permit, whether you're sitting outside Canada or you're sitting inside Canada, doesn't really matter. But now they have changed the rules, and not all these students are eligible to submit the like work permit for their spouses, but there are only certain there are only certain programs such as like masters, several bachelor degrees, doctorates as well, but not like diploma programs and certificate programs are not eligible anymore. So if you're 12th graduate and you're studying diploma program or certificate program, then yes, your spouse cannot apply for the open permit. And so third is so if your spouse is working in a eligible occupation, so basically, for example, your spouse is have a postgraduate work permit, and your work permit is, for example, your work permit is expiring, and you have a spouse, you're just getting married to someone like who's having a work permit of 2 years or more, 16 months or more, then yes, but the person needs eligible occupation to apply your work permit, basically. So for example, they're working in healthcare. There are several categories. If you want, I can show you that. Mm. Actually, I'm not able to find the website right now, so I'll do it later on. Um, so it's like basically, so there are several occupations. Like if you're working in like trade, you're working in healthcare, then you're able to submit the application for your spouse, such as you're working as a personal support worker, you're working as a carpenter, painters, like all these kind of occupations. You're working as a truck driver. Yes, you can submit the spousal open permit as well. Like, so the fourth option is the bridging open permit. So basically, if your permanent residency application is in process, so for example, your express entry application is in process, and then yes, you can submit the bridging open permit application. So just to keep in mind, in this bridging open permit is like, so if you have a work permit, only then yes, you can apply for the bridging open permit. Or you're able to restore your status. So for example, your work permit expired and you change your status to the visitor, then yes, you cannot apply for the bridging open permit. Then you need to wait for the permanent residency approval. And the other option is after the PNP, like for example, like you applied for the OINP International Student Stream and your application got approved. Then you get a letter from the Ontario, like the Ontario government, and say, okay, so you need a letter of support for the work permit. And with that letter of support, you can apply for the closed work permit, basically. Um, and the last option is, as I mentioned before, that this is just a public policy for the PNP candidates, but only as of today, only Alberta, Manitoba, and Yukon. These are the only three provinces who are supporting for this policy. Like if you're living in Ontario and submitted your Ontario application, then yes, Ontario does not support this policy right now. So now let's discuss like if none of the option apply to you. So for example, like you're not able to apply open permit based on your spouses, you cannot go for the francophone or bridging open permit. So then you want to stay legally in Canada. So these are the two options, which is the best. So one is the visitor record, the another is study permit, basically. So going for the visitor record. So what I have seen is people get confused between visitor record and the TRV stamp. So these days, so IRCC, they always give you the stamp on your passport, which is until the end of your the passport expiry date, basically. So so what happens is people get confused. Okay, so now you have a visitor visa up until like let's say 2030. So you don't need to apply for the visitor record, but that's wrong. So basically, if your work permit is going to expire tomorrow, by the end of the day tomorrow, if you want to stay legally in Canada without restoration, then you need to apply for the either you can go for the open permit, open work permit, either you can go for the study permit extensions. The other option is with the visitor record. So if you want to stay in Canada legally, the work permit, study permit, if you want to go for the study permit, the recent changes before, what was happening is like, so people were getting LOAs from the private colleges, and they were extending their study permit for up until like let's say for the another 2 years. So at least they can study and they can work for 24 hours as well in Canada. But now IRCC has changed the rules, and now they need PAL letter. And for the PAL letter, it's hard for the public colleges to get the PAL letter. So only public colleges are eligible for the PAL letter, but that is doable as well. So if your work permit is going to expire and none of the other options is switchable for you, so I would say go for the study permit. So with that, you can, based on your program, so if your program is for 2 years, you can extend your study permit, you can extend your stay for the another 2 years, and by the time you can also work 24 hours per week. And then again, like you can work full time in the official break and reading weeks instead. Just keep in mind, if you're going for the study permit, and don't expect another postgraduate work permit. So because postgraduate work permit is only a one-time option. So if you have received postgraduate work permit already, and now you're going for the study permit again, but end of the study permit, then you will be not eligible for the postgraduate, even though your program is eligible for the postgraduate. One another thing is, so if you're like going for the like if you're right now having the LMA-based work permit and you never obtained any postgraduate work permit, because I have few clients, they came to Canada on a LMA-based work permit, and now their LMA-based work permit is going to be going to expire, and their employer is not willing to expire, or they are in these cities where they cannot get the LMA because of the unemployment rate. So on in that those kind of scenarios where the people did not get any postgraduate work permit before, so in those kind of scenarios, yes, if they do study for at least 8 months in a DLI public college in a eligible program, then or a 2 years program, then according to that, then they are eligible for the postgraduate work permit as well. So I just want to talk about some like mistakes. So what I have seen, as far as my experience, is like people, they apply for the dummy work permits basically. So dummy permit is basically, so your work permit is expiring tomorrow and you're submitting any kind of dummy permit that is today. You're submitting today or tomorrow, just to stay in Canada legally, and to work in Canada legally for another 2 to 3 months. Um, yeah, this is kind of a way people are doing it. Yes, you can work legally until you get your result on the application. Um, but what I have seen is people are using the fake LMA numbers in that. So fake LMA numbers is basically, so we can submit the dummy work permits based on the LMA number. So we can say immigration that, so my employer is supporting for LMIA, and this is the LMIA number. So they have submitted the LMIA number application, but we did not receive the LMIA yet, LMIA approval yet from the ESTC. So I have seen people where they are using the fake LMIA number. So but IRCC has access to all of that. So I would highly suggest to not use any kind of like a fake, either what we are talking about, any fake document or work experience, or any fake LMA number, just for you to get another 2 to 3 months, just to stay in Canada. Because if they found it out and and they found out, okay, so this is a material misrepresentation, then it will be hard for you. So we all highly suggest not to use any fake LMA numbers in the applications. And most important is UTC time. So people get confused in like, okay, so what is the end date? So RCC always go by the UTC time. So if your work permit is going to expire, let's say today, that is March 14, so you don't think, so if you're living in Ontario and we're living in Brampton, we are saying, okay, so that is up until like 12 o'clock in the midnight, and you can submit your application before. And then after that, okay, so you are eligible to work, but that's not the case. They go by the UTC time. So UTC time is 4 or 5 hours ahead the Brampton. So I think it must be like about 10 or 11 o'clock already, according to the UTC time. So you always check UTC time if you are on the last date of your work permit. And number three, that is, so if you're submitting any of the work permit based on, let's say, spousal sponsorship application you have submitted, then after that you are submitting open permit, and then you missed any of the document, for example. Like you need AOR and you missed it, and now they have refused your application. Yes, you can resubmit the application with the restoration if you're out of the your authorized stay. but you're in the restoration period, you can resubmit the application. But the only hard part will be you cannot work until your new application going to approve. So this is very important. So just make sure you're attaching all the documents. If you're submitting spousal sponsorship, or let's say open permit based on the students or based on the worker, there is a like detailed checklist that is already available on the website. Like if you're talking about like francophone or everything, so all of these applications, they have their checklist published on the website as well. So make sure you have provided sufficient documents, and all of these documents, like in all of the documents, like they have never mentioned about the financial documents. So this is what I feel. But they do refuse the applications based on the financial documents as well. Some of the checklists, they do have like this slots to upload that of the financial documents, but some of them they don't. But whatever the documents application you are submitting, so always use the financial documents, like any bank certificates, bank statements and stuff, just to prove that you're financially stable, and so you can support yourself and your family in Canada. So I think I'll go for the questions first. If somebody has questions for the work permit.
Yeah, I will check if you are having any questions in now. Oh no, right now did not anyone write the questions. We are able to go ahead with.
Okay. Okay. So so we don't have much time, so I'll be just focusing much on the PR options, pretty much available in Ontario. Um, so if you have graduated from Ontario, and there are several ways we can get the permanent residency. So one is, it all depends what kind of scenario you're sitting in. Like if you have a graduation from India, from back home, whatever the country you're from, or you have only 12th grade. So according to that, we can focus on the programs we have. So we can have like so first program is international student stream. Then second, in demand stream. Another is skilled trades. Everybody knows about it. Human capital stream. These are two streams. Skilled trade stream, human capital stream. They are express entry streams basically. So international student stream, in demand stream, and foreign worker stream. They are job offer based. So job offer based is your employer need to support you for these kind of a job offers. For example, for the international students team, and you have studied from a eligible DLI from Ontario, and now your employer is willing to support. Now, willing to support means, first of all, you have to check if they are even eligible. So if we are talking about your employer is sitting somewhere in GTA area, so their revenue must be at least 1 million, and they must have 5 full-time employees who are Canadian citizens and permanent residents, and their business must be 3 years old. And so all of these, so this requirement is suitable like for all of these categories: international student stream, in demand stream, foreign worker stream. So this requirement applies to all of them except human capital and skilled trade stream. So in all these streams, your employer must have certain amount of revenue based on if they're sitting in GTA or outside GTA. If you're like living outside GTA, your employer is in from outside GTA, then they will need 500,000 like dollars revenue, and they must have like 3 full-time employees who are Canadian citizens or permanent residents. And for the foreign worker, it is the same as well. For international students team, the best part about this international students team is you do not require any experience. But yes, if you have 6 months of experience or more with the same employers, then definitely you'll be getting more extra points for that. But as such, if you're especially if you have studied from outside GTA, and for example, you have studied from healthcare, you got a job offer in a healthcare, let's say as a nurse or as a PSW, something like that. and now you're targeting international student stream, then you have a really good chance. You don't even need experience. So you can submit your application into the pool, and if you get a draw from the OINP international student stream, you can directly submit the application. For all of these categories, you cannot submit the application directly to the OINP. You must submit your application into the pool. Then from there, they conduct the draws. If you got selected, then you can submit your application. And in demand streams, there are several occupations, um, such as like material handlers and stuff. There are about like 35 occupations. So where if you get a job offer from these occupations and you have a relevant nine months of related work experience, then yes, you can submit application in the in-demand stream as well. And if I talk about like a last year draws, last year draws were for international student stream, there were about like 11 draws. And for in-demand stream, I think there was only 2 draws. And for skill trade, think about 5. And for the let's talk about the foreign worker stream. For the foreign worker stream, because all these streams, international student stream, in demand, and foreign worker stream, they are job offer based. So let's talk about the foreign worker stream first. So foreign worker stream is the similar like the other streams. The requirement is same from the employer. The difference is you need a 2 years of work experience. But if your job offer, like if you're working in a sector where you need a license, so for example, you're working as a registered early childhood educator, then you need a license to operate to work in that category. So then you're exempt from 2 years of work experience. So then you can directly submit your application into the pool for the foreign worker stream. And for the international student stream, I missed one thing. So your study must be completed within like last 2 years. So for example, you're submitting application today for the international student stream after the draw, then so this is based on this study. So your study must be completed after March 14, 2023. So within the 2 years of the completion of your program, basically. And for the skill trade category, yes, all these skill trade person, like whether you're working as a carpenter, you're working as a painter, you're working as any categories like welder, like yes, you can submit your application within to this category as well. These both are express entry categories. So you must have an express entry profile. That means you must have at least 1 year of experience. In skill trade category, you need 1 year of experience in a relevant field. It could be in two of the field, but at least 6 months in one field, basically. But you cannot mix match with food service supervisor and one is welder. So it must be the trade from both of them. So for the last year's draws, so first 2 draws from the last year was at the I think 350s, and the another 3 draws, they were above 400s. So and realistically, if we say if you are a 12th student and you have completed only 12th from back home, and you have, let's say your scores are 6.5 in IELTS exam, then your scores will be roughly about 380s. Probably you have to increase these scores to get to the 400 benchmark. So basically, if you're going for 777, that is CLB 9, then you should be sitting at like a 425. And for human capital stream, this stream is only for the candidates who have completed the bachelor degree either from Canada or from the back home. It doesn't really matter. But they always conduct the NOC specific draws, whether it is skilled or STEM or whether it is healthcare draws. So for the healthcare draws, for example, like you're working as a PSW, and the best part about this program is like it doesn't really matter like wherever you are sitting right now. Even if you are outside Ontario, even if you're outside Canada and you are in the express entry pool, for example, you are a nurse and you're in express entry pool and your scores are roughly about 425, 20, then there are highly chances you will be getting an invitation from the OINP human capital stream. In this stream, you still require total 1 year of experience in to be eligible for the express entry. But if we say about the 6 months is at least required for the healthcare category. Like for example, like you got selected for the healthcare category, and you are working as a nurse from last 6 7 months, then you are eligible for this category. If you have a 6 months of experience from like previous job, which is food service supervisor. So at least in combined, you have total 1 year of experience, and but 6 months of experience must be there in the targeted occupation. If it is healthcare, it must be in healthcare, that specific knock. And the last is knock specific draws. So the another is knock specific draws is basically, so they have added several so there are several categories basically. First is the French, another is educational, where the early childhood educators and teachers are eligible as well. The another is trade occupations, and one is STEM occupation. Um, for the and healthcare occupation. For the trade, there were only 10 occupations eligible before, but now there are about, I think, let me double check. It's about like 25 occupations in the trade category. So in all of these, in yeah, in all of these in draws basically, so you must have like in targeted occupation, you must have at least 6 months of experience in that particular targeted draw. Um, like 6 months of experience in the last 3 years from that knock code. So if you have experience, and if you have a previous experience as a nurse from within last 3 years, even if it is from outside Canada, and then yes, you are still eligible for that category. Um, and if we talk about the educational occupations they have added, because they have added several occupations such as like teachers. If you have experience as an elementary teacher, secondary teacher, early childhood educators, then yes, you are also eligible, even though they haven't conducted any draw yet. So we are not sure about what will be the cutoff, but I'm expecting anywhere between like 400 to 430s. And if we're talking about healthcare categories, their last draw was 460 something. And for the trade, they have there, I think there was about like 2 to 3 draws last year. There was sitting at like 433. So if you have a graduation, I think only focus for the trade occupations for the non specific direct express entry. If you have a graduation, if you have only a 12th grade student, then it's better to focus on any of the PNP categories such as the ONP, skill trade, or the foreign workers team, international students team, etc. The another is RCIP. So for the RCIP program, so this is they just launched just a month or 2 months ago. So there are several communities from Ontario as well who are participating, such as North Bay, Timmins, Thunder Bay as well. So you need a 1 year of experience, then you need a job offer from a designated employer and who can support you. Um, they haven't launched any websites yet, I'm sure, but I will suggest you to, if you're working in a for example, healthcare or trade, you have a high chances to go for the RCIP program. But if you're just working for, let's say, working in a gas station, right, in a uh, like any retail store basically, or a food chain, then I don't think so. This would be a good option because they will be, end of the day, they will be doing targeted occupations as well, just like the other express entry and PNP categories. So any questions?
Yeah, please, anyone can tell us if anyone is having any question from Sukh. You are also able to write in a chat as well. No questions. It means Sukh already tell us everything very clearly, so everyone can understand clearly everything. That's why they did not have any questions, I think. So I also want to tell you that this session is fully recorded. So if your friends or family member who did not able to came to see the session, so they can go to our Meest Canada website, as well as we have a YouTube channel, Meest Canada also. So they can go over there and see that if anyone is having any questions and queries, please ask Sukh as well. So this is the information of Sukh. So anyone can contact them. And thank you so much, Sukh, for attending this session and
Yeah,
tell
no
everyone
worries,
the
no
proper
worries, Aryan.
information.
So I hope this session is helpful for the everybody. But
Yeah.
yeah, if you have any questions, you can feel free to contact us, because in immigration, what we feel is like everybody has their own case, and everybody is different from everybody. So like if there is any different situation, separate situation, yeah, definitely you can contact us at any time, and we'll be happy to assist you guys.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Sukh, for attending this
Thank
session
you.
and tell us the proper information. Thank you so much.
Thank you. No worries. Take care. Bye.
Thank you. Same to you.
Thank you. Bye.